Hello, second grade friends, and welcome to Number Corner. For Number Corner today, you will be playing the rows and columns game. Now we will play this game in Seesaw, but you will need your whiteboard, marker, and eraser to write down some equations as we play the rows and columns game. You can pause the video now to get what you need. Now, let's have a reminder on how we play the rows and columns game. This game helps us to learn more about rectangular arrays. And I'll remind you how we play it by ourselves. We will use a deck of 20 number cards, numbered 1 through 5. Each player will take a turn drawing 2 cards, then build an array to match the cards, and write an equation to represent that array. When each player has had a turn, you will compare the number of tiles in the 2 arrays. The player with the more tiles wins the game. The winner of the round will score 1 point. We will play 1 round together, and you will play 2 to 3 rounds on your own. Now let me show you how we'll be building our arrays with our rows and columns from the number cards. Now step 1, we'll draw the first number card and set out that many rows of tiles with 1 tile per row. If we get a 4, we would put out 4 rows with 1 tile in each row. Remember, rows go across. So if you put your arm out across your body with your elbow pointing to one wall and your fingertips pointing to the opposite wall, that's a row. Next, we'll push those tiles together. Because we're doing this on Seesaw, we'll just set them out together right away. Then we're going to draw our second number card and build that many columns. So if we get a 2, we'll build 2 columns of 4 tiles. We already have 1 column built when we build our rows, so we just need to build 1 more. We can see that there are 2 columns. Remember, a column is up and down if your fingertips are pointed to the ceiling and your elbow is pointed to the ground when you put your arm out. That's a column. We can see that there are 2 columns and each column has 4 tiles. Let's have a practice round in Seesaw, and then you can play on your own. So you'll need your whiteboard for our first practice round. First, we need to choose our players. I'm going to choose Pikachu, and I'm not sure the name of this character, but I like this butterfly-looking character, so I'm going to choose that one. Okay, my first card for Pikachu is a 4. Remember, that tells me I need 4 rows. So I'll take my tiles and I'll build my first row, my second row, my third row, and my 4th row. Remember, I use different color tiles so I can see the different tiles in my array. My next card is a 3. That tells me that I need 3 columns. So I'll grab my tiles. I have 1 column built already. Here's my second column of 4 in a column. Now, do I have my 3 columns yet? Not yet. I need 1 more column of 4. Okay. Now that I have my array built, how many tiles do you see in each row? We see 3 tiles in each row. Remember, a row goes across. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. How many tiles do I have in each column? If you said 4, you are correct. In the first column, right here, I have 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 in the second, and 1, 2, 3, 4 in the third. Now, can you write an equation to match our rows and columns in this array? Now, you may have written an equation that looks like this. 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3 equals 12. Show connection if you wrote that for your equation. Can you think of another equation we could write? Now you may have written the equation 4 plus 4 plus 4 equals 12. Show a connection if you wrote this equation. Show a connection if you think these are both correct equations to represent our array. If you showed a connection, good work. These are both correct equations because our first equation is showing our rows. We're seeing 1 row of 3, 2 rows of 3, 3 rows of 3, and 4 rows of 3. Now, if you wrote the other equation, that's correct too, because that equation is showing our columns of 4. We have 1 column of 4, 2 columns of 4, and 3 columns of 4. Both equations are correct. Now let's build our second array for our butterfly character. If you know the name of this character, good work. I just don't know, and that's okay. Our first card is 5. What does this card tell me? If you were thinking that this card tells me I need 5 rows, you're correct. Remember, our rows go first. So I'll have my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tiles to show that I'll have 5 rows. Now I need to see how many columns I need. I can see my card here is a 3. And I know that I'll need 3 columns altogether. Now, thumbs up or thumbs down, do I already have a column built? Oh, I should see a lot of thumbs up. Yes, I do. I have 1 built already. Show me in your fingers how many more do I need to build. If you're showing 2 fingers, good work. Let's build our 2 more columns so we end up with 3 all together. I'll grab my tiles to build my second column. Oops, I don't want to do that because it's just too hard to see all my tiles if they're all the same color. There we go. All right, now I need my third and final column. Okay, now that I have my array built, think about our rows, think about our columns. Can you write an equation to represent this array? Now, if you wrote an equation that looks like this, maybe you wrote 5 plus 5 plus 5 equals 15. Oops. I have to write it down here. Equals 15. Good work. Are your add-ins in your equation representing our rows or our columns? If you said your add-ins, each 5, is representing our columns, good work. Because I have one column of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have a second column of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And a third column of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can even count to find out how many tiles there are by 5s. 5, 10, 15. Now, you may have written a different equation. You may have written the equation 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3 equals 15. If you wrote this equation, you're adding up our rows. We have 1 row of 3, 2 rows of 3, 3 rows of 3, 4 rows of 3, and 5 rows of 3. Are both equations correct? They sure are. This was our practice round together. Your job now is to play 2 rounds on your own, on page 2 and page 3. If you want to keep playing, you can play a bonus round on page 4. That's up to you. All right, you have some characters to pick and some rounds to play. Get to work, second graders. Turn this in to show your teacher your hard work playing this game when you're all finished. And I'll see you next time for Number Corner.